All right, welcome back. We are doing some new prepositions in this lesson, and to be precise, Wechselpräpositionen. Who'll tell me what are Wechsel prepositions? They are the ones you see right in the middle. Yes, they sometimes act as accusative. The other times they act like dative. Now, who'll tell me what's the deciding factor? It's the question wohin or wo. If the verb answers the question wohin, you'll use them as accusative. If the verb answers the question wo, it'll be dative. But that is for space. That's this column. What about time? Now, the time is easy to understand. All the prepositions which you see in the middle, if we are using with time, they'll always be dative. They'll always be dative because time is described basically in a fixed format or something. That's why you'll always find that these prepositions are always dative when it comes to time. So let's get started without further ado. Lernen wir doch die Wechselpräpositionen und fangen wir gleich ein. Let's begin right now. Die erste Präposition heißt in. The first preposition is called in, just like in English. Genauso wie in English. Yes. Now, what is the meaning of in? Now, in terms of time, we'll talk about in a moment. In terms of space, when you're surrounded by a particular thing, you are in it. Yes. And talking about space being surrounded, it's like you are in water, you are in air, you are in the building, you are in a particular country, you are in a city, you are in the mountains, not mountain, but mountains. Yes, you're surrounded by mountains, or you are in the wild forest, or you're in a room. All these places you're surrounded by your environment, and you'll say, ich bin im Wasser, im Luft, im Gebäude, im Land, in der Stadt, ja, in den Bergen, in Wuster, in Wald, im Raum. So we'll discuss these. And also you could be finding yourself in a particular direction. That is the cardinal point, Himmelsrichtungen. You could be finding yourself in east, west, north, or south. Yes, that could also be the situation here. And if you are traveling in any of these positions, in the direction of any of these positions in real time, you can also use in. Yes. Now, all the names of places with articles. Now, in German, when you name countries, some countries have articles. Yes. For example, die USA, it's plural. Yeah. And then Vereinigte Königreich, you have your British, the Großbritannien. Yes. And then you have of course the Türkei, you have the Niederlanden, plural. Yes. So many countries, not all, but some have articles. So if you're going to any of these countries, you'll say, I'm going in the country. Yes, you'll say, ich fliege in die USA. Yeah? And you'll say, ich fliege in die Türkei. Now, why did I say in the? Because the question is basically wohin, and we know these prepositions are used in accusative, so we know that the USA is den, die, das, the, plural accusative. Yes, so it'll be ich fliege in the USA and stuff. We'll be talking about it more. So yes, that's the idea. Let's get started. Let's talk about time first, and then we'll come to position or space. So time, we already know it's always dative. Yes. So the test begins in 1 hour. So what will we write here? Stunde is feminine. We need to write in a hour. In 1 hour, it will be in einer Stunde. Yes. Why einer? Dem, der, den. We have the er of dem, der. Right. I saw him. I did not see him in the last days. So basically it's dative since we're talking about time, and it's like ich sah ihn nicht in das letzten Tagen. Tagen is plural, so we'll pick up a dative plural. That's dem, der, den. So we write den, in den letzten Tagen. Das Wetter wird kälter in das nächsten Tagen. The weather will become colder in the next days. So again, it will be dative. Days are plural. Dem, der, den. We'll write den. in den nächsten Tagen. Yes. Okay. Now we'll come to space, talking about position and space. Okay, first let's deal with wo. Yes. So ich bin dash Supermarkt. Where are you? Yes. Wo is dative, so it will basically become dative. Supermarkt is masculine, so we'll make it in dem Supermarkt. Yes. You're surrounded by the supermarket. You're in it, in a building. Ich schwimme dash Fluss. So basically, where do you swim? Now you need to understand, to swim, as you might understand, is a verb with movement. Yes. So you might think, why is not the question wohin schwimmst du? Yes, because the verb determines if there is movement or not. But though you might think swimming has movement, when you're looking at the reference, I'm swimming in the river. Now, when we talk about movement, there is another thing about change in position. So though there is movement, there is no change in position. I'm always inside the river. Since I'm always inside the river, I will not see this as movement because there's no change in position. I'm still in the river. I'm not going out of it. So basically, even though the verb has movement, schwimmen, you will always say wo schwimmst du? Where do you swim? Yes. So it'll be ich schwimme in, it'll be dative, dem Fluss. That you need to understand. Yes. So whenever it comes to understanding the verb, if there is movement or not, also add the clause of is there a change in position or not, because both need to go hand in hand. There should be there should be movement as well as there should be change in position. Only then you can use an accusative form of these prepositions in the middle, right? So perfect. Moving forward, ich renne in dash Park. Now rennen again has movement, so you will say, why is it not wohin rennst du? Because that's not the idea. When I'm running in the park, I'm always in the park. Yes. So there's no change in position. That's why I'll again assume it's dative. So I'll say ich renne in dem Park. Park is masculine, so it'll become dative. Yes. So two factors need to be looked in to understand if these verbs, these prepositions in the middle are accusative or dative. Change in position as well as movement. If both are qualified, then it will be wohin. And if there is movement but no change in position, it will still be accounted like wo. Yes, as if there is no movement. Genau. So ich laufe dash in dash Wald. Yes. So what will it be? I run in the forest. Now running, laufen is also to run. So again, you'll say there's movement, but there's no change in position. So it'll become dative. Yes. So it'll be in dem Wald. Wald is masculine, in the forest. Ich bin in dash Bergen. So this is normally a verb without movement to be. So of course, wo bist du? Where are you? So it'll be dative, and Bergen is plural. So dem, der, dem, den. We'll write den Bergen. Now we'll come to wohin. Now, ich gehe in dash Supermarkt. Now to go is movement, and when you go in the supermarket, there's change in position. You are not in the supermarket, now you are in the supermarket. So it's completely accusative. So we'll say ich gehe in den Supermarket. Den, die, das, die, den. Ich gehe in dash Fluss. Now you are outside the river, you go in the river. That's what you mean. To go is action, having movement. And here there's change in position as well. You are outside the river, you go in the river. So ich gehe in den Fluss. Okay. Ich renne in dash Park. Now let's say you're standing outside the park and someone called you from inside, you ran in the park. So here there is change in position as well as movement. So it'll be accusative. Ich renne in den Park. Ich laufe in dash Wald. You are standing outside the forest. Someone called you from inside, you went in. So basically there are both things. You're changing your position as well. There is movement, of course. So it'll be wohin. So ich laufe in den Wald. Yes. Ich fahre in dash Berge. You are basically not in the mountains. Now you're going in the mountains. Yes. To drive is basically to movement as well. So it's movement, change in position, both qualified. So we'll write here ich fahre in die Berge. Yeah. Now again, I was talking to you about if a place has an article. Normally we learn as we move ahead, normally when you go to a particular place, you say nach. Ich gehe nach Berlin, ich gehe nach, let's say, Australien, yeah, ich gehe nach Spanien, Italien, yes. But certain places have articles, like Türkei, die Türkei. Now you can't say ich gehe nach der Türkei, that's not the right thing. You'll need to improvise, and with all the places with names, you will always, with all the places with articles, yes, you will use the preposition in. That you need to remember. If a place has article, you will always use the preposition in. So it'll be ich bin, wo bist du, in der Türkei. Ich bin, wo bist du, USA is plural, dem, der, dem, den, in den USA. Ich bin in der Schweiz. Schweiz ist die Schweiz, feminin. So, wo bist du? Ich bin in der Schweiz. Ich, na, wohin? Ich fahre in das Norden, Süden, Osten, Westen. I'm driving in north direction. So, in Norden. Yes, real time. Ich fliege in das Türkei. I fly in the Turkey. So, it will be in the Türkei. In is already there. So, die Türkei. Ich fliege in die USA. Yes, den, die, das, die, Akkusativ. Wohin fliegst du? Ich fahre in die Schweiz. Yes, I drive in Switzerland. So, basically, I drive in Switzerland, going to Switzerland. Ich fahre in die Schweiz. Yes? Perfect. So, we learned, if we just quickly revise, all the places with names we'll be learning in a little while. We use nach, but if a place has a preposition, we use in. Then we decide if it's movement or not. Accordingly, we make it accusative. For dative, it's movement, like ich fahre in die Schweiz, that's accusative. No movement, wo bist du? Ich bin in der Schweiz. Yes, I'm in Switzerland. Okay, so fantastic. And one highlight of today's lesson, that when we are looking at these prepositions to decide if they are wohin or wo, we just don't need to look at if there is movement. We also need to find if there is change in position, like ich schwimme in dem Fluss. Though the verb has movement, when you're swimming in the river, you remain in the river. There is no change in position. That's why it will not be accusative, it will be dative. So coming to wohin, please remember there are two conditions, movement and change in position. So with that in mind, I'm John Berlin signing off to see you on the other side with another set of prepositions. Until then.